Hi there. I'm in beautiful sunny Colorado on a Friday morning in September, sitting under this lovely tree. I have a little beehive a few feet over, but I simply couldn't resist sitting here, so I'm sure we'll get along fine. Today I want to talk to you about channeling. Channeling is such a gift to us, especially in these challenging times. We have the all-knowing wisdom of our angels, our guides, our archangels, and our ascended masters, all to help us through, to give us information that we may not be aware of or cannot see yet. And it is such a gift. I want to start out by sharing my own experience, how I started as a channel, and then talk to you about the possibility of learning to channel for yourself, because we all channel. We might not be conscious channels, but we're always hearing whispers. But when you're a conscious channel, your whole world opens up and is changed for always. So let me start with where it all began for me. My spiritual awakening began in October of 1994. I was almost automatically interested in channeling. I found myself reading all kinds of books, some esoteric books, immediately resonating with it. I think I knew I was going to be a channel as my work, and I didn't know what it was going to look like, but it was something that I wanted more than anything. So in July of 2001, I went to the Midsummer Light Conference, which is hosted by Lee Carroll, who channels Cryon. And one night in my hotel room, I suddenly felt the presence of this entity, and his name was John. He introduced himself as John. And he told me that he was going to work with me and prepare me to be a channel of Archangel Michael. So this came as the most beautiful surprise. I had no idea I was going to channel Michael until that point. And for the next few months, he would talk to me and get me ready. Well, in November of 2001, on a beautiful day, I explained it in my book, Michael's Clarion Call. Michael came through, and I started to channel him, and every day. And I knew we'd be writing books together. He told me everything. I include this, again, a lot in my book, Michael's Clarion Call. And let me tell you, the hardest thing was getting over the whole doubt thing. Is this real? He proved to me so many times that it was real, and I can have to refer to my other book, I Can See Clearly Now. I talk about, especially with him giving my last name Soliel. He proved to me that this was real. I couldn't make up this stuff. So over time, I learned to trust. The way I channel, well, let me first say, one problem I didn't have that a lot of channels have in the beginning is that feeling of unworthiness. And I'll tell you why. Because Michael made it very clear from the beginning that he's my friend, and he's your friend. And all angels and ascended masters and archangels, all of them, and guides, all of them, they are your friends. We don't want to feel so separate from them. They don't want us to feel so separate from them. We're all connected. So that helped me tremendously to accept and embrace the relationship that I had with Michael, and that we all do if we so choose to embrace it. The way I receive messages is through clear cognizance, which is a knowingness. It's like telepathy. It's a very, very subtle process. So I began receiving these messages telepathically from Michael. And 8 years later, I began writing Michael's clarion call. Now, the messages first started out as just messages, straight from Michael, with no interference from me. But they naturally grew into conversations with Michael. And that's how our relationship works now. I'm always having conversations. It was just a very natural process. Now, here's the great news for you. Channeling is much easier now. It is so much easier. It's so natural. The veil has thinned. So we can connect much easier. It's like tuning into a radio station that is much clearer. It's such a gift. So, because truly, and I talk about this in my book, I struggled. I second guessed because I was so terrified of putting information out there that wasn't true. In fact, Michael would talk about what's to come in the future, things I've never heard about. So I went through my whole book, and I took the type and put it in color, whatever I was uncomfortable with, things that I had never heard before, just what will people think. I was scared. So I put it all in color to help work through it. And I can honestly tell you that every single thing that I was concerned about that was new, whatever, was verified by synchronicity. Synchronicity gave me the courage to actually publish everything. I didn't leave anything out except for the typos and the grammatical errors. Everything's still there. Michael showed it to me one way or another. So getting back to the doubt thing, again, it's much easier now to channel. And if you do have doubt, don't let it stop you. Even if you think it's your imagination, keep working through it. Just keep working through it. Do it as a daily practice if you can. And don't let yourself stop just because, you're second guessing yourself. You'll learn to trust. It's all experience, but believe me, it will go much faster as a channel nowadays. So when I channel, sometimes Michael will get my attention by, I feel like a sensation on my upper lip, kind of a tingling. I guess that's the best word to describe it. And that's his clue to me that he wants to say something. He has something to tell me. So you might have your own way. It might be I think I've heard of people having a sensation in their ear or something like that. So you'll have your own way of, it's just natural. You'll just know. Another thing that helped me with doubt is, especially when channeling for myself, or especially people I love that, I want the answer I want, and I don't know if I'm hearing right. Writing the book is different, but when you're channeling for someone you love, and you're very tied to it on a personal level, you can second guess yourself. So this is what really helped me, and I'd like to share with you. In recent months, a soul connection came through to me on an etheric level. And in the communication, he was like holding on to my thumb really hard, energetically. It was totally an unmistakable squeezing of my thumb. And ever since then, when I'm in doubt, am I hearing you right, Michael? Because I know I want an answer a certain way. I will say, Michael, can you squeeze my thumb? And he does, if the answer is positive. And it really works. So I recommend something like that too. Just asking, whatever, your hand, your arm, whatever, but asking for that touch, because it is so validating. And I've talked about this before. It's so really nothing is more since we can't see our angels yet. Having that sense of touch makes it so real. So I highly recommend connecting with your angels through touch in some way. Now, let's talk about your channeling. You could channel any being that you wish. Any being. If you ask for them, they are there. Isn't that awesome? We're so lucky. We're so gifted. So you always want to ask for the highest beings of light. I know that a lot of people first do a prayer of protection, and I'm not going to suggest one way or the other. I just know that my intention is so strong to be only with the highest beings of light that it's just natural, and I don't have to ask each time. But I'll leave it up to you how you feel, if it makes you feel better. But definitely your intention, as long as you hold that intention, I believe you're all set. So always the highest beings, otherwise you could be receiving information that isn't of the light. I teach an e-course, Michael's 7 Golden Steps, and one of the participants, Kathy, had mentioned that she had heard that when you channel telepathically, it's like when you hear those words, it's like hearing row, row, row your boat when you sing it to yourself in your head. So just try that, row, row, row your boat in your head. It is exactly like that. That is an excellent description. Just sing it in your head, and what you hear is really that subtle. That's the way it works. The bird agrees. So know that it's subtle. It's usually not dramatic, although some people, of course, hear voices, and one day we will, but most people aren't clairaudient and are going to have this knowingness. So whatever your process is, so you want to invite who you wish to come into your space. And a great way to start is just, what do you wish for me to know today? What do you wish for me to know today? And just wait for the answer. It might be a word, it may be paragraphs. Just accept whatever it is and keep working at it. Allow the answer to come, even if you think it's your imagination. Don't stop, just go with it. Let it flow. Everyone, almost everyone, has doubts in the beginning. So just let it go and do not let that stop you. It's not who you really are. Just know that you can tap in. You are worthy of the information. And just, be at peace with that. Be relentless. So that's it for now. I wish I could ask you for questions and I could respond to them right now, but since it's not going to work that way, please leave any questions in the comments below on YouTube, and I'll make a new video and answer any questions, like a part 2. Also, please share with anyone you feel this would resonate with. I really appreciate that. Best wishes, channeling. Enjoy.